Good morning, Michelle. Thank you for joining me because I'm doing this little talk about professionals in the pandemic on your perspective of how life is. Now, the best person to talk about themselves is you. So, would you like to just give us a little bit of a background information about you?
Sure. Thank you so much for bringing me in here. My name is Michelle Picardo. I've been a teacher for over a decade now. It's been almost 13 to 14 years that I've been teaching. Teacher, and I have been into this not before long, because why I say that is because uh, each time you learn something new, each time you learn something different, and each time you evolve as a teacher. So you cannot say I am 13 years old into this industry. You can say I'm 13 years younger, because you're learning different things. So that's about me. I like to learn new things. I love to learn different things. You can call me an avid learner, if I may say that. Um, Before getting into teaching, I was into the corporate. I was working as a recruiter. Working as a recruiter, getting passionate about the corporate world didn't actually suit me well, because there was something in me that wanted me to do something different. And so when one of my friend asked me, do you want to be a teacher? I said, I don't know if I would be a good one, but I would definitely give it a try. And so that's how my journey as a teacher began. And right now, I have founded a chat show called Ray of Hope, where hope is not lost but built, which is a small little baby of mine with a hope to spread hope around. So that's all about me. Thank you so much.
And that's how we actually met because we have a lot of people we know that are in common and also same interest. And this is how this really came about, is that people feel they're very much in isolation. And hearing the perspective of your thoughts and how you have got through the pandemic makes us feel that there is a little bit of hope. And this is what your channel is about, that there's hope out there. So my first question is what impact did the pandemic have on you?
So the impact that the pandemic had on me was, when the lockdown began, when the lockdown was imposed, the world came to a standstill. Everything had to take a halt, and you could do nothing, even if you wanted to. You had to stay indoors. You couldn't go out. So with that, what it left me with is I learned how to stay positive in everything. You can't go about whining. You can't go about sulking. You can't go about crying. You have to pick yourself up and do something about it, to know, and for others to know, that this is not the end of the world. It's going to get better. So what I did was, I started doing something from home, and that's how my show came about, Ray of Hope, because I saw everywhere there's sadness, there's remorse, there's dismay, because people are losing jobs. Um, Children are locked at home, indoors. My son is a football player. He's a crazy footballer, but he couldn't go anywhere. Suddenly, everything had to stop. When you stop, and when you take a pause, and when you reflect, life is beautiful. So I didn't want to give in uh, uh, to that situation where there's nothing that can be done. It also helped me break the monotony. You
Yes.
know, as time passes by, it's easy for man to slip into complacency and to do everything that you're doing in the normal, regular rigmarole of life. This pandemic helped me do something new, helped me do something different, professionally as well as personally. Professionally, as a teacher, we did use technology. Technology was there, but not the way we are doing it now.
No.
Now, technology has become a lifeline. Without technology, a teacher cannot survive. Initially, there was this term that would always do the rounds in education, and that is, could technology replace teachers? Can technology replace teachers? Well, I would say technology cannot replace teachers, but if a teacher is not equipped with technology, she will definitely be replaced.
That is a very valid point, because one of the things we did have to learn was a new skill set. And for some people, it didn't come naturally. And for others, they excelled with this, being able to use the tools of multimedia and everything. So you certainly threw yourself into the pandemic, I know, and used it in a positive way. And thinking about, on a personal note, what have you learned? For me, I learned not to take anything for granted. And for you, on a personal note, what did you learn through this time of the pandemic?
What I learned is that when you're willing and when you're flexible, everything is possible. That's what I learned. When you're willing and when you're flexible, everything is possible.
Yeah,
You just need to have that mindset. It's not just the virus. Before the virus, there were many things that happened across the globe. Virus is not the first disaster that mankind faced. There were so many things. Our lives, so many things just fall apart.
yeah,
What do we do then? What do we do then? And I always feel what you do with your life personally definitely creates an impact at your place of work, your people around you, and your community at large.
yeah, yeah.
So, what I learned is this, that if you're willing and if you're flexible, everything is possible.
And did you notice that there'd been a big effect in your community, apart from the isolation and the quarantine? One of the things I noticed was there was fear at the beginning. There was fear. This is a country where everybody says good morning to each other. And suddenly there was fear, no eye contact, nothing. Did you notice a change in the community?
Quite many changes I noticed. I noticed quite many changes. A simple change that I would notice is suddenly empathy and gratitude rose up on the chart.
Mm,
The graph went higher. Suddenly, you wanted to value little things that you have. Suddenly, you felt that my neighbor doesn't have something. Let me go and give it to that neighbor. Empathy. So, empathy and gratitude, I would say, took to its peak at a
mm,
time like this. So that's what I noticed around. Suddenly you would see people going out with all everything covered up, but going out to say thank you to the policemen, going out to say thank you to the teachers who are doing a good job, although the pandemic has really got everything shattered. Suddenly people wanted to congratulate, people wanted to uh, uh, you know uh, shout out acclamations of praises to the doctors, to the paramedic staff.
mm.
Suddenly all this came about. That's gratitude. That's empathy. Suddenly we became empathetic. Suddenly we wanted to praise God, or to praise whatever you believe in,
Yeah.
for the thing that you have
I think we were
and not the thing that you
there was a uniqueness. Everybody was going through the same thing at the same time, which was a global uniqueness in one way, which we'd never really had in decades. It wasn't like a world war. It's a war in a different way. But the one thing I noticed is I got to meet so many new people as well online. It was a completely
exactly
different way of getting to have a bigger community and bigger friendship
exactly
circle. And certainly that in itself, being able to chat so easily, like I am to you now, made a huge difference. Um,
you know what I feel is I have a problem with this word, with this term called social distancing.
mm,
we have been physically distancing ourselves.
Yeah.
We're not socially distancing ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the learning that it has left me with this pandemic, I will give you three E's, Yvonne, that I have learned. One is I have learned to emotions. The first E is emotions. You have to maintain or strike a balance with your emotions. What I learned is also that you be uh, you know like I said, people started losing hope all around. People were sad, people were distressed, people were nervous. Suddenly there was anxiety that seeped in, and depression, and so on and so forth. What I learned is when you become eccentric,
Mm.
you break the regular routine and you do something new, it automatically balances everything.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think we had a lot of time to try and do something new. I know I tried several things new. And
Exactly.
and I think also it was I feel personally like a change of direction. It kind of like I suddenly thought I can do more online. Although I don't like being
Yes.
online, I can do more online. I can reach more people online than I could
Yeah.
physically before. So that made a huge impact as well. I mean, and Michelle, what are your hopes and aspirations for 2021? What are your plans and what do you hope?
So I will be just going with the second E and the third E, and then I'll answer your question. So the first E that I learned was emotions. The second E that I learned was emotional intelligence. When you take care of yourself emotionally, you're able to take care of everything else around you, and that's very important. And the third thing that I learned was to get electronic. You know, that was something Zoom was there, Google Meet was there, WebEx was there, but it is not, when I was talking to people and I asked them, what is it that you learned? They said, we learned to spend time. I said, I don't think so. We had time. We would have time, even in a busy schedule, we would have time to say hello to someone. But at that time, we didn't think that Zoom is a way when I can see you and I
Yeah,
can say hello to you. But now it's become the normal. Today, I don't have to wait to get my team for a meeting the next day. I
yeah.
can get them on a meeting even now and be connected with them. So those are the things I learned. And with that, what my hope is, for the community, my hope for the future, um, I just want to say here, as human beings, there were some things that we neglected. Because of this virus, hygiene hit the charts.
Mm.
Initially, when we would have people visiting us, our homes, we wouldn't care. We would just want to make them feel comfortable, and hospitality was at its peak.
Yeah.
But now it has replaced with hygiene. First, you'll ask them to sanitize, then you'll ask them to wash their hands,
True.
and then you'll be hospitable to them.
It's crazy how everything now is have you got a mask and a hand gel and how easily we've just accepted everybody wearing a mask. It's become the norm. The fashion
Yeah,
accessory is the mask now.
mask.
Yeah, every color, every shape, every form, but the fashion accessory is your mask. I wish I'd have thought
Absolutely.
about that before they became really popular.
And there are people who wear their masks here below the nose. So
Yeah,
then
well,
you
that's
only
what
notice
yeah.
that.
No, don't wear
And
it
you
under
tell
the
them,
nose.
please wear your mask properly.
Please wear your mask
Wear it.
properly. And for
So,
2021, what do you think? What
yes.
what would you hope will happen and what will you do for
So I
20?
have this acronym for hope that I have for 2021. So the first, that is H, would be health, where I hope that we all take care of ourselves physically, mentally, socially, emotionally, even spiritually for that matter. That we need to take care of our health. Health should be a priority. We have neglected a lot of our emotional self. We have neglected a lot on the spiritual front. We have neglected a lot on a mental front. I think we need to. Some of us were hitting the gym, but that was not enough. So there should be a balance. So first is health. The second is O, and for O, I would say it's time we organize ourselves. And when we organize ourselves, things will get organized. This pandemic has made us a little lethargic
Mm.
because we're all working from home. That slack seeps in. So I would advise that we need to be organized. So have a to-do list, prioritize and plan, and organize yourself. Have a discipline.
Yes.
That's so important, because you're working from home. You tend to think, I can wake up a little late and it's okay, and I can do that a little, and you can push work for later. But I would say, let's organize ourselves. So I hope that we get more organized. uh, the next is the P in hope, that is polish. Polish your skills, hone your skills, sharpen them. If you have done something for a while, do something new. This pandemic has taught us to stay focused on this one particular skill which we've been talking about and listening, and that is communication. Rampant communication has taken place since this lockdown. So I would say, let's do it. Let's polish them. Let's polish listening skills. We didn't listen to people for long, since the world came to a halt and we were all locked up indoors and we had nowhere to
So
go.
true. Yeah.
So you have to listen. And I feel, when we take care of our health, and I feel when we organize ourselves, when we plan, prioritize, and polish our skills, um, what we become is, we empower ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's the final E for hope. Always empower yourself, because when you empower yourself, you automatically empower your family, you empower your close knit, you empower your society. Whatever you do has an impact. So when you are taking care of your health, when you take care of your health, when you're organized, when you polish your skills, you empower yourselves. When you empower yourselves, you empower your community at large. And that's my hope for 2021, that we should all be this and do this.
I mean, it's an amazing message, and I knew that that's why I wanted to get you, on this little chat. I knew that you would give such a positive message to people, and also I know that you will continue. You continue to get a real diverse amount of people on your chat shows and talking, and they all talk about what they've done and what they've achieved, even in a micro sense to an enormous sense, and that's in itself is a huge message. But also, look how you have evolved over these 7, 8 months. You have done exactly what you've just said. You've put it into practice. You haven't preached it, you have put it into practice. So, that has been an amazing thing as well. And I couldn't end without asking, how is the Diwali? How's it going? How's the Diwali festivals going? And as I mentioned earlier, this time last year I was there for the beginning of it, and I was just wowed by the colors, the temples, everything. And this year, what's it like compared to last year?
You know, yeah, since you were there, you would know, it's all filled with lights,
Oh,
and everywhere it's lit up. Every nook and corner is lit up. There are sounds, there are noises, crackers bursting, and sweets and all of that. Just yesterday, we were talking, amongst cousins, and one of my cousins said, "We're not going to get sweets anymore. People are not going to come giving us sweets." So, things have changed, Yvonne. It's not like how it was all these years. You could hear the sounds of the crackers bursting, and you could hear people visiting homes, and there
yeah.
was laughter all around. Laughter resounding everywhere.
Yeah.
Uh, but I feel even this Diwali will bring something new for each one of us to
Yes.
introspect.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also feel, Diwali was a festival where quite many people would get injured, would harm themselves because of the
Yeah.
crackers. I think that would dip, uh, you know, and people would know how to value themselves more than anything. You can enjoy, you can have fun, you can do all of that, but you need to take care of yourself.
Yeah, yeah,
So I
and it's
think,
very true. It's very true. And I mean, we celebrating in a different way now. And I think maybe these micro celebrations that we have at home, we'll focus more on each other rather than the effect of the celebration. It's more about what you and I can do in our home. And of course, we're going to be Zooming all the time, aren't we?
yes, all the time.
God, I feel like I'm kind of anchored to my chair last 6 months.
We really talk about it.
Well, I'm going to say thank you so much for sharing, this little insight to life where you are in Mumbai and how things are going in India. And again, as I said, it's just people think in their homes, is this just happening to me? We tend to think it's just an isolated thing. It's global, and we all are, to some extent, sharing the same emotion and feelings. And I have to say, your message of hope is a perfect one to start doing these little chats with teachers all around the globe that I'm doing. And I can't
Thank you
thank
so
you enough.
much.
And I have to tell people to just check into your channel because it's great. It's
Thank
absolutely
you so
great.
much. Please do that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I want to say thank you, Yvonne. I want to thank all the ones whom we know because of whom we got connected. And it's beautiful. Thank you so much. And I'm
Yeah.
humbled actually to have known you.
Off, I have to say, this has been the most positive thing of the pandemic is, as you said, people who know each other and the talking that we have done, but also the exchange of ideas. That in
Absolutely.
itself as being a huge thing. So yeah,
Absolutely.
look at us. We're like we just need to have our cups of coffee and a chat show now.
True.
Well, I'm wishing you a really lovely day, and it's all week the celebrations there in one way or another. And you look absolutely stunning, Michelle. So thank you very much.
And you're just beautiful inside out, Yvonne. God
Oh,
bless you. Thank you so
oh,
much.
it's old age. Well, you have a lovely day, Michelle, and we'll
You
chat
too. God
soon.
bless you. Take care. See
And
you.
take care. Bye for now. Bye.
Bye bye.